Hey everybody. The other day I started filming a video. I'd gone to caught some creek chubs, got some bait, and then I was going to meet up with Heather and the herd down at one of our favorite fishing spots. But kind of a late start, and I got down there and it had flooded, and the boys, the herd, had all taken their shoes off to cross, but a storm was blowing in and it cooled off, so we just decided to call it quits for the day. But it's a couple days later, and the weather's really cooled off. Well, it's in the upper 40s, lower 50s today, going from, it was up to 70 something a few days ago. So kind of in a cold front, and it's supposed to be colder, so I thought I'd come out today. I don't know if this will be a continuation of that video or if this will make an entire one itself, but anyway, I'm down here below a dam, and there's a guy fishing up here. You can see he's fishing off the bridge, got a couple lines out, and I spoke with him. I don't want to cross his lines, but he's a little further out, so I'm going to make a couple of casts. I don't know if you can see it, right down in here, kind of in the eddy area, or off the current. I'm just going to throw a jig around a little bit, see if I can pick up maybe a walleye or a white bass or something. Give that 15-20 minutes, and then I'll probably head down river a little ways. It's pretty flooded there, but me and little man Colton had caught a couple of decent channels there a while ago, and I've got those chubs for the other day, so I'll probably throw those out. But anyway, so I'm gonna start here with a little jig, and I'm gonna get rigged up here and throw around, and I'll get the camera back on when I'm ready to start casting and see if we can pick anything up. Hey, real quick too, while I'm getting rigged up, I'll just kind of show you what works for me anyway. I've got a backpack, and in here I've got water, thermos of coffee. Up here I've got a first aid kit. When the boys are with me or whatever, I'll carry some toilet paper or whatnot. Miscellaneous, maybe some snacks. Here I got a sweatshirt, a rain jacket, little pad to sit on, fire starter material. Here are my rod holders, and then usually when I'm not today because I'm not gonna build a fire or anything, but when we go on our little adventure hikes, then I put my tomahawk. That just slides in one, and then I've got my fold down saw, my Boreal 21. I can slide in the other, close it up, and that keeps all that compact. And then what I found for in here is all my catfishing gear. I've got my hooks, my leads, my floats, leader line, fish grabber, stringer, everything. And with that, it's a little unconventional, but hey, it works. A couple little carabiners. And I just snap those on like that. And then that just hangs off the back of my pack like that when I'm walking. So, and every time I go to the stop at our local bait shop, I get more weights. Usually 4 ounces or 5 ounces, so I'm increasing the load a quarter pound at a time, I guess. With that thing, it gets pretty heavy. You know, when I walk my bag there, or my tackle bag swings back and forth and makes me kind of waddle like a duck. The boys get a pretty good kick out of it. But anyway, that's how I carry my gear. And then my catfishing poles, I bundle all together, and then I use it's kind of an elastic band thing. I keep one around there, and then one a little bit further up here, and that just keeps them good and consolidated. So when I'm walking along, they're not flying around everywhere, and just kind of keeps them all together. So that's how I do it. Some people use carts or whatever, but you know, when you're walking across trees and rough terrain and through flooded water, a cart just doesn't work. So it's a lot of weight for me to carry, but it's mobile that way. That's how I get around. But yeah, let me know if you guys have some good ideas or other things. Like I said, my rod holders that I made with that rebar, it makes them pretty heavy, but boy, they work great. With my tomahawk, if I get into something pretty hard ground, I can beat them in pretty good with that. And they're long enough, even in sand, they'll hold well enough. I rarely actually lock my rods down. I put on the bait clicker or loosen the drag or something like that. If I do actually lock them down, I make sure I'm pretty close, so if a fish takes off with them. But anyway, that's how I transport my tackle and gear from spot to spot. And I'll turn you back on when I get down river ways. Well, I walked down here a little ways, and it's pretty flooded. You can see I got my gear sitting right out there, kind of waded across here and shallow enough. But this is all, if you can see out there, that little stick sticking up, or tree, and a couple little things sticking up there. Right there, along there is usually where you stand, and there's kind of a drop off, and that's usually about where I've been fishing. But this is all flooded now, and I'd like to actually just get on the other side of this railroad bridge and fish up around those trees maybe. But with the boots I got on today, it's just too darn, a little bit too deep for me to get across here, and I'm not going to try and walk completely out and around that way. So I think what I'll do is pretty much standing in water here. But once again, I got those rod holders, they're long enough. I'll probably just set a couple right here and cast out. But I've got some power lines running up overhead. I've caught them before, so just have to be careful with my casts, and I'll try and get one maybe placed right out here. And there's kind of right underneath, there's always a little bit of a kind of a ditch, some water. So I know it's a little bit deeper there, and where it comes in off the river. So that there could be something moving in and out right there. So I'll probably try and place one right about underneath the bridge, and then one somewhere kind of right off the point of that stick. It almost looks like a little bit kind of calmer water out there, and I'll aim for that. So let me get my rod holders in the ground, get casted out, and I'll keep you updated. Might as well clue you in here how I'm going to rig up. I don't think I'm going to go the sinker slide on this one. I'm going to use a 2 ounce just no roll sinker, and that way I can kind of stick it to the bottom. Boy, I hear all kinds of stuff. I don't know if there's jumping around me or what, or fish jumping, or ducks, geese, I don't know. A little extra line here. So anyway, start out. Oh, I left the knot on there. We'll wet it just a little bit. So I'm going to start out by feeding this through. If I can. Takes a steady hand, threading a needle, man. There we go. All right, so I'll just set that aside. I got this ready to go. That's the last knot, the last connection that I'm gonna make. The other thing is, I like to run a little bead on there to protect my knot. You know, this 2 ounce, I don't use 2 ounce that often, get into that slack of water. So I'd probably be retying this rig. I don't know if this is necessary to put the bead on there, because I'll be retying it anyway, but I'll do it just for the purpose of demonstration. The next thing, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my 40-pound mono, Trilene Big Game mono for the leader. And I don't know, I pull off a couple of feet. I can always trim it down. And the first thing I want to do is snell my hook. And what size do I want to use? I think I'll go with this side. You know, the best snell knot I found, I've never had an issue with it. I actually learned from Luke, Catfishing Carp. I don't know if you're familiar with his channel, but if not, definitely check it out. He's also got Outdoor Boys. He is a wealth of knowledge. In my opinion, a way overachiever. he's a I think a defense attorney in real life, and then in YouTube life he's got 2 channels, and very informative and fun to watch. But first thing you want to do, thread the line through the eye of the hook, and then I just kind of pinch it to the back of the shank, and then go ahead and wrap that. I'm going to wrap it about 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's, yeah, 10 or so. I think that's plenty. And then take the tag end, I guess, or not the tag end, but the other end of your leader. Feed it back through the hook, the eye of the hook, from back to front. Pull that down. And then honestly, I never trim this little tag. You could, but I just leave it. I've never had one of these come undone. And the idea is, as you put tension on that hook, with these circle hooks, you can see how it's just really wanting to grab and bite, and it almost sets itself. Like I said, I've had really good luck with that. And I'm gonna want, I don't know, 12 inches to 1.5 feet. This next knot I tie a polymer. I've done other knots in the past. Last year I lost my biggest flathead with a knot fail, so I switched to a polymer. By that, double over the line, feed it through, and then tie this overhand knot. And kind of start cinching that down just a little bit. And then you feed that through. With that loop, you come around. Whoops, sorry. Come around the swivel or whatever you're tying to. Hope I got another fish going. Let's go. Oh, through the water we truck. And that's the risk you run with having to tread through everything. Fish this time, or? I'll go ahead and reel down on it and see. I don't think that's a fish. It's coming in like more debris. Yeah, it's not shaking or pulling really too much. Well, that might be a fish. I don't know. It's pulling in pretty dead. If it's a fish, he's just playing dead. I don't know. By golly. There's a fish and a bunch of debris. I'm pulling in half the darn timber with it. Snagged up on something. Another line out there, and it's not mine. It's somebody's though. But I'll pull it all in and dispose of it properly. I think from here, it looks like it drops off pretty decent. I need to watch what I'm doing. Gonna hand line it in, or whoever line that was. That's another reason to use heavy line, heavier than what you think. Even if you're going after these little juvenile or smaller channels, if you do get snagged up, you can usually break off other people's line. Right in the corner of the mouth with that hook, you can see that circle hook did its job right in the corner. And I was 20 feet away. So this is quite a mess. I'm gonna get this all untangled, and then I'll go finish up rigging up that other pole, let you know how I'm doing it. Okay, back to the rigging. I took care of that mess. Like I said, whatever I usually carry somewhere in my bag too. I always try and carry trash out. You know, I'm packing quite a bit, especially now that I'm doing this YouTube thing. I got a camera bag back here with all my batteries and whatnot, and so I carry a lot of gear, but I always try and carry out any garbage, especially fishing line, because you can see, you know, that just about, had I not had all my heavy gear, I would have lost it all. So anyway, now I want to pull that down tight, cinch it down. And I always give kind of an opposite pull from the tag end and the main end. And this one I'll trim off in my bag. Don't leave any scraps behind. So there you go. That's about a foot and a half, little leader. And then I'll go back to my, if I can find it here, my main line that I've already got my weight and bead on. And then this is the other knot that I tie. I honestly don't know what it's called. I just call it my braid line, my braid knot. It's almost like a trilene knot. I go through the eye once, bring it around, go through twice. Now here's the difference between the trilene knot. Instead of leaving that first loop, you go ahead and pull that down, so it's wrapped through there twice. And then I put my fingers there, find my tag end, try not to get too many twists in it. There we go. And grab my tag end, and with my fingers I make a little loop. Then I slide my finger through, then I create that, another little loop, and with my line over top, my tag end, and then I feed that through. I do it about 5-6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get through there. Come on. Don't be like that. And then I start to kind of pull it up, cinch it, and then I wet it. Now the thing is about braid, when it gets wet, it seems to tighten down even more. When it's dry, which is dry right now, it's been out of the water long enough, it's pretty slip. But I'll still wet it down just a little bit, just like mono, and just pull that down, snug it up, and then I pull opposite with the tag end and the main line again to really make sure it's cinched. And then over my little tackle bag, crimp that off. I'll show you the finished product here. And there you go. This is a smaller version with the 2 ounce, but this is what I use the majority of the time. Whether or not I put like on that other pole, a Santee Cooper with a little float on it. I don't use Demon Dragons. I lose stuff too often, so I don't spend the money on it. But got my 2 ounce weight sliding on my main line, and a little stopper to protect my knot, my barrel swivel, down to my leader line, down to my snelled hook. So I'm gonna go get this baited up and get my poles back out, see if we can catch another. Huh. See, there's an example. I didn't hear my bell, it fell into the water. But I had something pulling out line on this. And we got him. And that was on the one that we retied. Well, I'll get this guy unhooked and then I'll show you that other rig that I made up with the crawler on it. Oh, I got a bite going here, I think. Get the GoPro back in the camera. There we go. Now that one might be wrapped around something. No, he's got some shoulders to him. This might be the biggest one yet. Yeah. There we go. Give up. No sense fighting it. Coming in like a surfboard, man. There we go. Yeah, that's a nice big male. That big square head. That's a decent one there. I think that one, we're gonna let that one go. That's a nice big fish. He'll go make some babies. Get him facing up. There he goes. See you, big guy. Got another one going here on a new headpiece. Yeah. Some good fast action today. This is nice. But there's that little ledge there, so I need to try and keep him up. Yep, just like that. He's swimming. There he goes. See if I can get him through. He's hung up into something. Give him a little bit of breathing room. See if he swims out. Can still feel him. There we go. He came out of there. Wait out here. Okay. See, that one was hooked a little better right there in the... You know what? I need my grippers. I'll get bit. Yeah, I'll get bit. A little bit better in the corner of the mouth there. There we go. Now that's a little bit smaller head, so I think that's a female. I think a little bit smaller, but look at that nice fat belly. I mean, they're feasting, man. But look at that tail. That tail is all chewed up. Almost like, I don't know if she's fanning to try and make a nest already. I thought it was a little soon for them, but something nipping at it, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's a pretty channel cat, a little female. Let her go. This might be the wife of the one we just let go. I'll let them go make their babies together. Wrong way, fish. Go that way. Well, I'm all packed up, ready to go. Head home and relieve Heather of her duties with the herd. I'll watch them and give her a chance to go and hopefully catch some fish and enjoy what it's turning out to be a beautiful day. I think it's gonna be the last one like this warm for probably about a week, so glad I took advantage of it and got outside. Turned out to be a pretty good day. I only had a couple of hours. I was fortunate I did get out the other day. I had some good fresh bait and it did the job. you know. Today, you know, I threw that jig around just for a little bit. Thought, you know, if I pick one up, I would have spent a little more time with it. But so I had two plans. I thought if that didn't work, then, you know, I'll try catfishing for a while, and that worked out. So I think, you know, today, like any time I go fishing, I try and have multiple plans, especially with when I go with the bring the boys, the herd with me. You know, with the high waters and whatnot, have to have alternative plans. You know, you might not be able to access the areas you want to be, and also I need to pick areas where they've got room to run around and play. I don't expect them to just to sit there the entire time and wait for a bite. So and that's part of it with kids, in my opinion, is making it fun and enjoyable, you know, and let them run around, let them be kids. My theory is, in Mother Nature, I'm more comfortable with them out in the woods. They break something out there, Mother Nature replaces it. If we're at home and they break something, guess who gets to replace it? So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun today. This was great. Caught some decent fish. I think it's gonna be a good year for fishing. So anyway, we'll see you later. Until then, stay safe, be responsible, get outside and enjoy the gift we've got, this Mother Nature. So we'll see you later. Take care.